how your body is going to appear. Okay. So let me repeat
Chris,
that.
forgive me, Chris. It finally
Yeah.
started recording. Forgive me.
Okay.
If you can
I'll
start again.
I'll make it a little quicker, guys.
Yes, I'm gonna make you screen spotlight you right now. This is our Monday night meeting. We have Chris as our spotlight. She's going to be talking to us tonight. She's our coach. We love her. Go for it, Chris. You're up, Chris. Go ahead.
I've got an experiment to take you through. It's going to take 72 hours. And where it comes from is this book I've been reading, When Thoughts Become Things. Okay. And it's called When Thoughts Become Things, E² by Pam Grout. And I just lost the exercise, so give me a minute. But it's going to take 72 hours. And what you're going to do is you're going to start off by weighing yourself and then weigh yourself in 72 hours. Okay. So we can all kind of keep ourselves accountable in this accountability group by doing that amongst ourselves. But the principle to this experiment is, and the experiment, by the way, is called the Jenny Craig principle. This was written in 2013. The theory is your thoughts and consciousness provide the scaffolding for your physical body. We are all made up of energy. And so how we create what we're seeing is by our thoughts. Okay. So this might sound a little woo-woo, but just go with me. Okay. The question, does what I think affect my environment, specifically the food I take into my body? So she's asking what we spoke about earlier. If you are getting ready to eat something that might be an indulgence, like cake and ice cream, do you look at that and go, well, I'm just going to eat this anyway. I know I'm not supposed to eat this. It's not really good for me, but I'm going to eat it. Or can we say, this looks really good to me right now in the moment. I am going to take a bite of it. I'm going to do it one bite at a time. And if I get sick of these bites, maybe I just won't eat anymore. So I want you to look at what we're doing that way, about what we're bringing in our body. Change your attitude no matter what you're eating. I don't want you to change your diet on this experiment. I want you to change how you think about what you're eating. Okay? So here's the hypothesis. If my thoughts and consciousness are in a continuous dance with my environment, the food I eat can't help but be affected by my thoughts. By changing what I think about and say to my food, I will be healthier, and for the sake of this experiment, lose at least 1 pound. So in other words, guys, and another thing to keep in mind, if you're eating on the go or you're stressed and working on a project or doing something like this and that, it's not only the cortisol levels that are raising in our bodies that are affecting our digestion and our food in a scientific way. It is that food is feeling your angst. That food is feeling your stress. That food is going, why are we all worked up about this? Just eat me, okay? So let's calm down while we're eating. Be mindful of what we're eating. Be grateful for what you're eating. Go ahead and bless your food with gratitude and ask it to fulfill the needs of your body. And like I said, we know how to eat healthy. I don't want you to go off the charts and get crazy. You know what you're supposed to be eating, but enjoy it and say, I'm eating this and this food is going to bless me. And even if you take a Girl Scout cookie or something, you're going to get blessed by that Girl Scout cookie. So everybody weigh themselves tomorrow morning. And then Tina, what will 72 hours be? This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. Go ahead and weigh yourself again. And let's all report back on this. Okay.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris? Anyone? Unfortunately, I probably will not be able to do this experiment. because I don't think there's any scales here, which is good for me. Now, how does this work? By thinking you're going to lose weight, you're going to lose weight?
No, don't think about the weight loss. Don't think about anything but blessing your food and being calm and peaceful while you eat and enjoy it. And know that that food is going to bless you. So we're not really changing the way we eat. We're not really changing what we're doing. We're just changing the energy of the food. We're making it a happy food that wants to serve us.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, I know it. There should be a lot of questions because this sounds really crazy. So go with the questions.
No, I just wanted to know, can you post what we're supposed to be doing in the chat? Because I wasn't really paying too much
Yeah,
attention.
actually, I've got this in a PDF. I'll send it to Tina. She can put it out there. I've got the experiment. Tina, you can post it, okay?
Love it, love it, love it.
And you said 72 hours, right?
Yeah, was I right on my math? Is that
I think it's Friday morning.
Oh, it would be if we start Tuesday, yeah. Okay, Friday morning, guys.
And this is including the intermittent fasting too, if you're
You just
intermittent?
eat however you normally eat. We just want to change the energy of the food to make it, make our bodies accept it in a happy way. And it's just kind of weird. Things might happen. But it all goes back to our mindset we were talking about earlier. We want to have unity in our whole environment. And we want to keep, if you're all worked up while you go to eat something, I guarantee you it's not going to digest properly.
Chris, can you go a little deeper into the cortisol levels, and since you're talking about energy of eating, like the speed of eating, because I know I used to eat on the go, like I'd be in the car rushing, like what it does to your body and your mind.
I still
Can you share your
do.
thoughts on that?
I'm still guilty at times because I got my windows, I got to eat, and then, we're all busy people, so nobody's perfect. Yes. So here's the deal with cortisol. Cortisol gets high in our body. It's our alarm clock. It wakes you up in the morning. That's what it's supposed to do. It's what it's designed to do. And then you let it calm down. It takes about 90 minutes to calm that cortisol down. And then you can start eating and drinking your coffee and all that because it's at a low level. If your cortisol is high, and cortisol can get high if you're anxious or stressed, the insulin that you need to digest your food, primarily your food with high glucose levels, won't work. Cortisol and insulin don't like to be in the same space. They do not work well together. So you can imagine if you're eating on the go or you're eating in a stressful situation, that you're building that cortisol up. And then the insulin's trying to come in and digest that. And the cortisol's got this big wall up. It's like, nah, just take that food away and store it as fat. Take that food away and store it as fat. So that's kind of in simple terms. There's a whole scientific breakdown, and I am not a scientist, okay? But this is what I know personally, and that's how I look at it. And it kind of helps me stay in check when I know I can't have cortisol and insulin in the same area. And I do need my insulin because I don't want to be insulin resistant. And that's what comes about when you're insulin resistant. Your body is not able to put your food into your cells, the energy into your cells, and it just keeps throwing more insulin into your bloodstream because it's like, why can't we unlock this cell and put this energy in? Whereas, so your cortisol levels may be out of whack, or you're just eating too much stuff that needs that insulin to digest it.
Well, Chris, just to confirm, what you're saying is if we eat when we're stressed, the food doesn't go to the nutrients or cells or blood where it's supposed to go. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying not as efficiently. And we want to work at full capacity. Of course, you're going to, it's going to get there, but it's also going to be more readily stored as fat. And we don't want that. We want to use it as fuel. So we need fuel. That's why we eat, to fuel our body. Okay. So that's what we want to do. We don't want to eat just to store fat, which is what bears do when they go into hibernation in the winter. They can do that, but we don't want to do that.
Yes. Something else I think that helps me as well to slow down, like slowing down when eating, and take the fork, eat it, and then put the fork down, because I know sometimes when I'm so hungry, I'm just like, oh, I never put the fork down. So one tip is to actually put the fork down in between. And sometimes not most of the time, I like to make sure my plate looks really pretty, the way the food is organized on it. Like when you go to a really fancy restaurant, that's how I like to have my plates at home. And then I also think about the colors and where it actually came from. So say, for example, I have an apple. I'll think of the tree. I'll think of the sun, the rain that got on it, just different things like that. And really just smelling it, using all my senses to, I guess I use that sometimes to help, I don't want to say unstress me, but calm me down before I eat. Do you have any ideas, Chris, on what people can do to lower the stress or stuff when they go to eat, if they're in a rush and just trying to get it in?
I'd say skip it. If you cannot, it's not going to kill you to skip a meal. Just let me tell you. And I've had to do that at times. I'm like driving in my car from one appointment to another. I'm like, this probably wouldn't be a good idea to eat this right now. But that's when I drink my ketones, and that's my fuel. It goes straight into my bloodstream, and I don't need that food to give me fuel, and I can wait a little longer to make a good decision and to have a peaceful meal. But I liked what you were saying about the apple. If you guys just sit down to your meal and you think about everything it took to get that one piece of food to you, and just be grateful for every aspect of the person that grew it, the person that got it to the grocery store, the person that put it out on the shelf, the person that checked you out, and then you got home with it. That's a process. And you've got all these people you can be grateful for to get that one apple to your door.
You know what, Chris, I want to talk about mindfulness as well, because you were talking about skipping the meal. And I think what happens is, as humans and Americans, I'm going to say Americans, we're so used to, you got to eat breakfast, you got to eat lunch, you got to eat dinner, and then two snacks in between. Because years ago, that's how it was in the fitness industry. They would eat 5 times. They would say eat 5 times a day: breakfast like a king, lunch like Prince, dinner like a pauper. And that was drilled into my head. I've been taking nutrition classes every year since I've had my license, my certification. It's like it's always something new. But the skipping the meal, I like that. And you're saying if you're rushing to a meeting, instead of rushing, you'll be okay if you wait for that meal. And I've had clients say, well, I have to be to work at 9 and I have to drop the kids off. Don't eat. Wait, you're not going to die. I always say I have enough fat on my body. So I love that. Sandra, welcome, girlfriend. Sandra, if you would like to share, we've done that part already, but I know you're coming a little late. What we like to do on Monday nights is introduce ourselves and share our wins for the week. Chris went over a great exercise that we're going to do this week. But if you would like to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, some of your fitness goals, we'd love to hear from you, Sandra. You're muted. Not sure if you can hear us. Not sure. She's saying 1 minute, 1 moment.
I was trying to swipe down to get the camera to the volume to work. Sorry about that. Okay, so behind me, you can see my wine. That's what I like to do. I'm a wine ambassador for One Hope Wine. So I just put this picture up as my background real quick. Currently, I'm just hustling out here. I'm contracting, doing administrative work. My workout level varies. I have in the past dropped. I've gotten to my goal weight, which was 150. Currently, last year, this time I was 190. I'm now down to 180 with very little workout. I know my food crap. And I can say the crap word because, like everybody else here, I've done Weight Watchers, LA Weight Loss, Jenny Craig, 7-Day Cabbage Diet, whatever. I like the JJ Smith the green smoothie cleanse. I find that to be really easy as opposed to juicing. I like to juice only once a month, typically, to clean out my bloodstream with beets, because I don't like beets. And I take care of my dad, who's had 3 strokes. I'm a non-cooker. My dad is great. He just can't remember anything. So he's always like, I didn't have ice cream this week. And I'm like, you did. We're trying Chobani, key lime yogurt as substitutes. We'll see if that works with him. More importantly is, I guess in a year I'll be 50. I really believe that women are supposed to be soft and cuddly, because men don't seem to care. So why do I have to be the 6 board, the ab stomach? But I can be healthy for myself. I have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I'm on medication for that, and I have been since I was 22. So I don't think that's really going to change, because I was really fit then. It was just one of those things that came up in my screening, the silent killer. And I've always been diligent and controlled with medication. Eventually, if God says it will be, my heart's desire is to birth a child. I call it now the Janet Jackson baby. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a prince and he'll help me get it pregnant or whatever. But the reality is I try to make good choices, but when I can't, I still have my wine because that's a fruit. I learned that one from LA Weight Loss. But then I choose my dairies because I'm a cheese person. I could just eat cheese. So I don't do the crackers with it. And I have to back up on my olives. So that's a big deal. I had to cut an olive into 7 slices in order to make it fit on 3 crackers one time. But, that was the payoff to indulge for that snack. So that's kind of how I do it. I can talk myself into working out and I can talk myself out of it. I've done the 10,000 steps a day, and I'm in Maryland these days. They don't have sidewalks here. So it's a little different. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Everybody has a sidewalk. Every pedestrian has the right of way. As a driver, you're kind of ticked off about that. But the reality is you can walk safely and nobody's running you over on purpose or accident. And I could talk all day. I'm supposed to do a podcast, so I'm going to get on that.
I love it. I love it. Chris, and you as well, Sandra, because I know we have some wine drinkers in here. They were saying there was some, I don't want to say healthy wine, but no sugar wines.
Yes, low sugar. That's definitely, it's all about the way that they process it. They also have vegan wines. It's the way that they process the grape as well. I'm just a lover of God's fruit, which is a grape. So yes, we could definitely talk about it because there are a couple of them that you could have. But I'm a big red wine drinker, so I find that a lot harder to find the low sugar ones for the red wines. Typically, it's going to be a white wine. Chardonnay always, or Pinot Grigio is pretty good. Very light. And there are no rules to drinking wine these days. You don't have to have it with fish or seafood. You have your wine however you choose. It's your palate. Enjoy life.
Enjoy life. I love it. I want to transition, Chris. Thank you so much, Sandra, and welcome, welcome, welcome. As I mentioned to you guys, we have a couple of new classes coming through, 6 a.m. is where we normally start, and then Tuesday, Thursday nights, 7 p.m. But Chris, I want to talk about water because I know that the importance of drinking water, but then the type of water and then what you're putting in your water. And I haven't done my research yet. I have done it. Do you have any knowledge in the different types? And if anyone does, I'd love to hear with the spring, with the mountain, with the Brita. If you have any info on that, I would love to hear. You're muted if you think you're not, Chris.
Guys, I am not the expert on different types of water. I know the gym I work at has this great filtration system and it even tastes good. I'm telling everybody that comes to see me at work, you got to have some of our water. We got the best water, but just drink water. Okay. Do use electrolytes at some point during the day. And if you don't have electrolytes, at least have a little quarter teaspoon of good Himalayan salt, or I love Redmond's real salt, because we can, we do that gallon water.
Can you explain? Because Sandra's face is freaking right now. She's like, what? Salt? I can see her face. Can you explain the importance of salt?
Those are your electrolytes, and we are energy. Like I was talking about earlier, we are electrical.
I'm agreeing. You got to get that in. I agree.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So Redmond's real salt is my go-to favorite. It's mined in Utah. It's local, like to the States, and they do a really good job with it. You don't want Morton salt. So we're supposed to be, we're talking about water, and now I'm talking about salt. Morton salt actually has dextrose in it, which is another name for sugar. And so stay away from table salt. Okay. If you go to a restaurant, do not touch that stuff. If you're out in a restaurant, really, you're not going to get good quality food anyway, for the most part. So cook at home. But back to water, let me tell you a couple things. When you drink water and you move around right after you drink water, just little movements like shoulder rolls and hip rolls and just dancing around, it actually brings that water deeper into your cells. So I encourage you to dance around while you're drinking your water, okay? It's gonna bring it in. It's not gonna just sit there. You gotta make it work for you, all right? So my 2 tips are get a little movement in right after you drink your water, and use electrolytes so you don't dilute all the minerals out of your body, especially on those days. I think it's Tuesday and Thursdays, Tina, that we do
Yes.
the liquid.
Mhm.
Got to get a gallon in. Make sure you're either getting a good electrolyte. Tina has a link to one. I have a link to one, or just use that good salt. But you need it. I do the salt a couple of times a day. I don't know, is Aisha on here with us? She was fasting today and she got a headache, and she goes, I went and did my electrolytes and I feel great. If you're fasting, or if you, anytime you feel sluggish or you have a bit of a headache, try a 1/4 teaspoon of the salt and a glass of water and wait 30 minutes and see if your headache goes away. And if it doesn't, do it one more time. You can do that 2 times in a row, and your headache will go away.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So this week, we all know what we have to do, but it's just always challenging. I say that because it's just a fact. So for this week, let's all pick one thing. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. We can give you some choices. We've been talking about the intermittent fasting, like till we're blue in the face. Intermittent fasting, 12 hours, 13, 16, whatever. If it's drinking half your body weight in water, if it's no fruits, only having berries, blueberries, strawberries, moving your body at least 3 to 5 days a week. Chris, is there any other choices you can give them? And I want you to type into the chat the one thing you're going to commit to doing this week. So when you come back next week, you're going to say, I did blah, blah, blah. Chris, is anything you can add on top of what I said?
Yeah,
And start
I got
typing in the chat, guys.
So this next one is when we were talking about cortisol and insulin. When you wake up in the morning, I want you to wait 90 minutes before you have any stimulants like coffee, or before you have any food. And during that 90 minutes, while you're waiting, is a great time to get your movement in and your water at the same time. It's like a huge whammy, okay? You're going to get all this good stuff happening, but wait 90 minutes before you ingest any food or coffee.
Really quick, 2 things. 1, so no ketones either in that 90 minutes?
What?
No ketones in that?
Yeah, you can have your ketones. And I saw a question about salt substitute. There's no reason for a salt substitute. I think you do have a high blood pressure problem, but I don't think salt is going to be a deterrent for you. But ask your doctor, okay?
Can you explain that 90 minutes again? Because you said it so quickly.
Oh,
And
okay.
why?
So when you get up in the morning, your cortisol is really high because it just woke you up along with your alarm clock. And it takes 90 minutes to calm it back down. So while you're waiting for that cortisol to naturally drop back to a normal level, you can have water, you can have salt, and you can have movement. Please don't have coffee, any kind of stimulant, any kind of thing you would have to digest. So liquid wise, it's just water, guys, no food, and get your movement and your salt if you want it while you're waiting 90 minutes, because that way your insulin will be happy when it has to come in and digest your food, because your cortisol is going to be nice and low.
Love it, love it, love it. I was going to say also another thing you can commit to is 7 to 8 hours of sleep because that affects how you eat. I'm checking the chat here, Renee, if you can write down everyone's answers. What about Gatorade? Oh, heavens to Betsy, no. No, 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 no.
We have a really good replenishment for you. The Mitoplex is wonderful. And then Tina, you have those drops.
Yes,
But-
Sandra, I'll send you a video of the ketones, Sandra, so you know what that is. But Gatorade is the worst. I'll send you a video, Sandra. Yes, sleeping 7, 8 hours. So I'm looking in the chat to see who's put anything in here. No one's put anything. I'm looking to see what are you committing to this week. If everyone can just type in the chat one thing. Ashley says no energy drinks for me. Okay, okay. That's one. What am I committing to this week? I will commit to more movements. Okay, Cheryl. Chris, what are you committing to?
I will commit to more movements along with Cheryl. And I think one of our problems, Cheryl, is that the weather really sucks right now. It was gray and it was icy outside. I'm not walking outside when it's like, we've got a sheet of ice out there, guys. But I do move around the house. I live on 3 levels. I'm up and down them all the time. But I'll have more intentional movement.
Aisha said more stretching. And I do have a YouTube channel. It does have to be a bit organized, but Chris has some videos on there for stretching. There's yoga on there. There's strength classes. So on the YouTube, there's all sorts of videos. Renee, what are you committing to this week? No eating out. That was from my mother. I don't believe it.
Hey, Maddie.
More intentional movement from Daniela. I like that. I like that.
So this 90 minutes in the morning, because I'm stuck. You're
Okay.
just saying get up 90 minutes earlier than you normally would and do these things?
No,
She's saying don't do anything except
Yeah.
those things.
once you get up,
Okay.
I mean, if you have to get up earlier because you want your coffee at a certain time, then get up 90 minutes before that. If you have a set time to have your coffee or you have to have a meal because of medication or something, get up 90 minutes before that. And move your body while you're doing it. That's when our growth hormone is really ready to work for us. And our growth hormone is our anti-aging hormone. And it's really available during that time. So if you're moving, you're really building up that growth hormone. And it doesn't have to be doing a killer exercise class. It's just moving, guys. You can do arm circles, you can do dancing, you can do whatever you want. Keep the body moving. And also that tip I had, while you're hydrating yourself, if you're moving, it's going deeper into your cells.
Mindy, Cynthia, what are you guys committing to for the week? Something new? Doesn't have to be anything new. Something intentional. Did Aisha put something? Aisha put more stretching. I think I'm going to put lifting more weights. That's what I'm going to put in there. Lifting heavier weights because I do it all. It's just I have to do more of everything. So for me, because I want to lean out, I've been looking at old pictures of myself. And I told you this last year has been a huge struggle for me. Just throwing it out there. It's been 30 pounds and I'm looking at old pictures and videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tina, you're so huge. So I realized when I was lifting the most weights, that's when I was the most fit. That's when I was the strongest. That's when I was the thinnest. So for me, Chris, it's going to be lifting more heavier weights. That's what my goal is for this week.
So this is my first time here and I'm obviously just free willy here, just jumping off mute. So let me ask this question because I saw this today on CBS Morning Show, is that they're saying that you can use weightlifting as a way to fight off PTSD issues. Has anybody seen that? That you can, by really focusing your strength training, it will help you feel more safe and secure and it makes your mind rest. I just heard it today and I thought that's a pretty interesting thing.
Girl, strength training helps with everything. It helps with all of your emotions. That's kind of how I got through my traumas is by working out. You couldn't tell if I was crying or if I was sweating. I was moving so much. So the strength training, and you can ask Cheryl too, because she's an instructor, she used to train. The strength training, it just hits differently, from the running to the walking to the bike, but strength training just does something here. Were you unmiking, Cheryl? Would you like to share your thoughts on that?
No, I was just saying that's true. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as like saying I don't know if it helps PTSD, but I would definitely assume that it aids with anything mental, because I know how I feel after I'm finished strength training. I know how I feel when I start, and I know how I feel after I'm done. That's why I said I need to get back into lifting weights again.
And sometimes it's hard to start. It's like when I go for a run, sometimes it takes me 30 minutes to an hour to get out the door. But once you're in it, it's good. So just, initial starting is good. Chris, did you want to add anything to that? Mindy, you didn't write anything.
To what you're doing. It's focused on the weight training, and you're using major exertion. And so you're like pushing out maybe the feelings of angst as you're concentrating on your form and stuff and taking your mind off it that way.
Well, y'all know how I feel in reference to the mental health part of this. It's like this. What may work for one may not work for all. And with my journey and dealing with PTSD and depression, it helped me was helping me look good to get healthy, but it wasn't doing all this crave that they say it's supposed to do. And that's just me. It wasn't doing that part for me. So, but yeah, but I'm gonna go back to, I want to do more weightlifting. So that is my for the week, the weightlifting part. I ain't mean to quiet everyone.
Corinne, I like what you were saying about it not being a one size fits all, because it's not, but we've got all kinds of options for you here.
Yes, I love it. All right, if we can get everyone on the screen, I don't know if we're able to do that because I made us host, take our photo, unless anyone else has any other questions. On mic, if you do. Who's taking the photo?
I'm trying to come.
I'm trying to. Who's there? Who's taking the photo for us?
I can do it, but I can't see you.
There I go.
You can't see me.
Okay, let me
No,
see if I can do
everybody's
this.
on the screen now.
Okay, everybody. 1, 2.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
1. Wait a minute. I got a reminder. 1, 2, 3. I got it. I'll send it to you.
Yay. Renee will be putting the new schedule in for February. Not new moving forward, but just remember, when you're 15 minutes earlier on time, when you're on time, you're late, and when you're late, you're left. So it's super important that you come to class early. I like to start right on time. Our coaches, Chris has a class, Kim has a class, they put a lot of energy in it, and we're doing 30-minute increments. So you take 30 minutes, and if you come in late, you've already missed it. Make sure before class you stretch a little to get it going, because when you come in, we want to attack it. Mindy, are you able to show your face, Mindy? Mindy runs our book club. I think we're going to do the Eric Thomas, since we didn't really finish that too much. Mindy, you want to chat about our book club? Mindy has been so graciously. Last month was our first month. We did the Viola Davis book. I didn't quite finish it, but I'm going to throw it over to you, Mindy.
Oh yeah, the Eric Thomas book is so encouraging. You guys are going to love it. And it's a great follow-up to the Viola Davis book if you do get a chance to finish that. And it really takes the Viola Davis book to a whole nother level, because it really digs into your why and the purpose behind that. And so if you guys want to get that, read it on Audible, or get it and read it in like the physical copy, that'd be a great thing. So yeah, join us on book club.
Thank you
That'd be
so
great.
much, Mindy. I think it's the first and third Monday at 6:30. We have our meeting. So next Monday we'll have the first meeting for the Eric Thomas, but Mindy does great notes in the chat. Ashley has onboarded to support with the Nike running app. She's being the boss. She won't even, like, I'm trying to, so she's like, no, it's my show, Tina. So I'm going to let Ashley on mic. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Sandra, on your phone or wherever on your phone, probably there's an app, the Nike running app. You log into that, add me as a friend. And then each month we have a goal of how many miles. For February, we're going to do 30 miles. Yes, it's 28 days in the month, but 30 miles for the month. And I'm throwing it over to Ashley, who is our running club coach, captain, leader, motivator. Go, Ashley.
So yes, indeed, I have totally revamped the Nike running app. I'm going to incorporate actual badges or so what I did is I created little plaques, and every time you reach your 5 miles, you get a little stick, you get a little thing. And I 3D printed them myself. So, and then at the end of the month, you get a trophy that I did. So that helps you motivate it. Cause I don't know about you. I like the physical aspect. I don't like a whole virtual thing. That's for the birds. So yes. So it is customized. I will actually put your name on there for you too. So make sure you, I'll put my information in the chat, and make sure you friend me on the Nike running app, and let's get fit. Yes.
Yes. Each month last year we were doing it every quarter because we didn't have that many people coming. Cheryl won member in the spotlight. For the month of January, Aisha has won member in the spotlight. I don't know if she's able to unmic. She has been phenomenal. She's been taking classes, personal training, ketones, prepping, like you name it. Aisha has been there. So she is the member in the spotlight for January.
Ooh, yay me.
Make some noise for her. I haven't looked at the Nike running app, but I'm guessing Renee, is my mother number one again? Is she like pulling it through?
I'm pretty sure she's number one again, Miss Hattie.
She's shaking her head. No. Who is it,
No?
Mommy?
Let me see. Maybe it was Elizabeth from California. Let me look.
I think I'm going to take Elizabeth out. I would have to be. I've never met this woman. Let me tell you guys. People, on Instagram, they're like, "Oh, you're my friend. Oh, you're my friend," and she's never taken a class. I've never met her. I've never seen her, but she's on the Nike running app, and she's on a running club. So I think I'm going to take her out as
Okay.
a.
Of
Go for
our
it.
regular people, Ms. Hattie won. The people above her were Elizabeth, Matt
Well, the
McHale,
month
and Wellington
we
for the
still have
month.
tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't know those people you mentioned.
Well,
So we still have
Wellington
another
has
day for tomorrow.
150 miles.
I don't know who Wellington is. That must be your friend. So it shows in the link your friends. So it'll just be from this group here. So as of now, Miss Hattie is number one for January. I'm excited about Ashley. You notice we're expanding, we're growing. So support all that great stuff. Corinne is on our end with the motivation for the posting. So she's our social butterfly. Corinne, would you like to share any updates or anything new you might want from the peeps? Maybe if you don't have Corinne as your, do they call it a friend, as a follower on social media? Corinne, can you share how that motivated you when you started?
Oh wow. It motivated because it's just not even keeping up, because that was my problem. Too busy watching everybody and what they doing and comparing myself. So you have to be real cautious when you're starting out, comparing yourself to everyone, because that kind of put me in a bummer mode. But it does help. It just keep up with what everybody else is doing and taking tips from with everybody else. So that's what I'll say. Use it for tips. Motivation, yeah, but just don't compare yourself.
Love it. And I don't have any Lead Stars Instagram. The Instagram is Fit, Healthy, and Blessed. It's a combination of everything for here. I also do a lot of speaking events on different platforms. Like I have a thing on YouTube, a club in YouTube. Clubhouse, YouTube, LinkedIn. So it's also going to be a calendar of the different events of where I'm talking, what I'm doing, if you want to listen to that. But mostly for this, we're going to be posting more stuff on the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed. So you can see more of that. Hashtagging Elite Stars, all that wonderful stuff. Anyone want to share anything else before we get out of here? All righty. Great meeting tonight. See you guys 6 a.m. tomorrow. That's about it. All right. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.